Least one commercial realtor predicts the loss of the library will cause even more stores to move out. KCRG TV9's Dave Franzman is live at the new library location, which is across the street, with the latest.
Well, Bruce, as you mentioned, this old Target store on Williams Boulevard Southwest is where the library will put the west side branch. And let's just show you how close it is to Westdale Mall. We're actually talking maybe 400-500 yards at the most, but having the library inside the mall drew a lot of foot traffic for the other stores. And the question now is, will those people keep coming if the library isn't there? Packing up all the books and material should happen just before the end of the year, but not all the library will leave the mall right away. Behind-the-scenes work like this will stay in mall space until the new main library is finished in mid-2013.
We want to make sure that we're not moving things unnecessarily.
Still, from the public's perspective, the library they know at the mall will disappear probably in December. Some users wondered about the mall itself.
It attracts people to come, and I think it's probably been good for the mall.
TV9 was unable to reach mall owners or brokers handling the sale listing to hear their thoughts on the library's decision. But developers wonder if this decision will prompt a renewed interest in a complete mall makeover. Ideas have included a radical downsizing of the mall footprint, with more retail going to outlying areas and space converted to housing or offices. One commercial realtor says current mall owners can't wait much longer before doing something.
There's not many more chances that this current owner has before they will see substantial, I think even continued vacancies.
Now, 5 years ago, you may remember the city of Cedar Rapids was actually leading the charge to do something about the situation at Westdale. Mayor Ron Corbett tells me now the city's probably not interested in leading any kind of renewal effort, but they do stand ready to assist any new buyer who comes forward with whatever's needed to make a redevelopment work. Live in Cedar Rapids, Dave Franzman, KCRG, TV9 News.
We're now asking viewers, will you still go to Westdale Mall after the library moves out? To answer, just go to the KCRG Facebook page and check out the poll. You can see the results also on Facebook.
Well, the Vice President of China, Xi Jinping, wrapped up his Iowa visit this morning. She toured an Iowa farm and spoke to agricultural leaders in downtown Des Moines, where he and U.S. leaders signed a 5-year agreement. KCCI in Des Moines reports the agreement deals with food security, trade, and sustainable culture. It was announced today at this symposium at the New World Food Prize headquarters in Iowa's capital city. Chinese agricultural leaders and U.S. leaders, including U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, met to talk about trade. The Chinese vice president says trade between the two countries continues to grow and will benefit both countries.
The faster growth of China-U.S. agricultural trade has not only diversified the menus of our peoples and pleased their palates, but also found suitable export markets for our high-quality agricultural products.
After the announcement, Vice President Xi visited a farm in north of Des Moines, then left for California, where he'll finish his U.S. visit.
Well, this has been a beautiful sunny day across eastern Iowa, and we're wondering if these mild conditions are going to continue now. And let's go to meteorologist Joe Winters to get an answer to that. Joe?
I think they will. Temperatures should be above normal, maybe for the next 7 to 10 days, maybe an early outlook for what spring will be like. Speaking of spring, people were outside enjoying the day. Take a look at this out at Norridge Park. It was a great time to take the dog out and just enjoy some time in the sunshine, and people were lucky enough to get out and enjoy that. You can see the flower gardens there, which certainly will be planted come spring. And look at that. The shorts made a reappearance, of course, with the mild conditions. That doesn't surprise me. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it looked from our city cam in Independence. Through the day today, the morning started off with some sunshine. That was true through the afternoon hours as well. A few clouds rolled in, but it almost looks spring-like with those fair weather cumulus clouds drifting through the sky, now leading us to what will be a clear night. 39 in Cedar Rapids, 38 in Dubuque, 39 right now in Waterloo, 43 in Iowa City, 43 also in Washington. Decorah a bit cooler at 36. Very quiet conditions. By 6 p.m. we're down to about 41. Mostly clear skies are expected, and it's also true at 9 o'clock if you're headed out this evening. Mostly clear, down to 33. It does look like the mild weather will continue, but will we be precipitation free for our weekend? The forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Joe. Authorities say a Belle Plaine woman was killed in a rollover crash yesterday afternoon. That crash happened on County Highway V66 about a mile south of Marengo. Authorities pronounced 31-year-old Corey Kincaid dead at the scene. It happened around 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. Iowa County Sheriff Robert Rotter says she lost control of her SUV going northbound, then rolled into a ditch. This man, a former megabus driver, was sentenced to 77 days in jail for driving a bus drunk. 77 people were on board that day, so a Johnson County judge sentenced Carl Smiley to 77 days in jail, one for each person. He'll also pay close to $2,000 in fines. State Patrol pulled Smiley over outside of Iowa City on October 21st of 2011. He'd admitted he'd been drinking. His blood alcohol content tested .120.
Yesterday, we showed you video of a house fire in Dubuque. Well, we've now learned that investigators are calling that fire suspicious, although they haven't said why. This was actually an apartment house that was burning on the corner of Windsor Avenue and 22nd Street in Dubuque. We did know that a dog died in the fire. Investigators have not determined if anyone was at home at the time of the fire.
160 million Americans will continue paying a lower payroll tax for the next 10 months.
It's a bipartisan compromise in Congress to extend the current tax for Social Security. This keeps the lower tax rate that Congress extended for just 2 months late last year. The agreement also reforms unemployment benefits by cutting the maximum length of time for benefits from 99 to 73 weeks. And it protects doctors from a huge cut in their Medicare reimbursements. ABC's Karen Travers has more about the deal from Washington.
Late last night, Congress delivered some good news for millions of American taxpayers.
This is very important for a lot of people. 160 million Americans are now going to maintain their payroll tax cut.
With little drama, lawmakers reached a deal to extend the payroll tax cut through the end of the year. This means working Americans will be able to keep a credit of up to $1,000.
This is good for the country. It's very good for the country.
The deal also extends jobless benefits for millions of long-term unemployed. It blocks a 27% cut in payments for doctors who treat Medicare patients. Those two provisions are paid for, but the tax credit, that's going to add about $100 billion to the nation's credit card.
The trade-off is more spending today in exchange for less spending a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now.
It's a key victory for President Obama, who made the tax credit one of his top election year priorities.
As soon as Congress sends me that extension of tax cuts and unemployment insurance to my desk, I will sign it.
House Republicans may not be united behind this deal. It's a tough pill for the Tea Party Republicans to swallow, but the party leadership desperately wanted to avoid any unnecessary drama with Election Day looming.
I am not going to allow Democrats in the Senate to continue to stop this bill and cause a tax increase for 160 million Americans.
Congressional leaders hope to vote on the extension on Friday. It's expected to pass with bipartisan support. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
A huge fire at a prison in Honduras kills hundreds. We'll show you what happened and why so many died.
And would you believe arsenic is an ingredient in a sweetener that's even in baby formula? We'll explain in today's Healthy Life Report.
And it was a sunny day across eastern Iowa. Will it stick? Joe's up next with a look at your spring-like forecast. Stay with KCRG TV 9.
Live from your 24-hour news source in high definition, Bruce Owney, Beth Malicki, and Joe Winters. This is KCRG TV 9 News at 5.